Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a fun episode. We don't really know how it's going to go,
Yeah.
but um, we're going to go for it. Alex, why don't you tell everyone what we're doing today?
We are asking ChatGPT a bunch of questions to see if an AI can replace Brie and I. And we're going to rate its answers on an A through F scale. So A plus is the best, F is the worst. We're going to see what happens. This is very unscripted. It's going to be on the fly. We'll
I'm
see
ex-
how it goes.
I'm excited for this. For those of you who don't know what Chat GPT is, it's probably most of you do, but we'll explain a little bit if you don't. It's basically like this is the only way I know how to explain it. You might know better, but it's just an AI system where you basically can type anything you could possibly imagine and it gives you an answer and instantaneously, basically. And it's really good at doing it.
Yeah, and they have like different versions of this. Man, if one of our followers or like listeners is really into AI, they're just going to be shaking their head the same way like we would be shaking our head at some random person explaining their workout program because like
Yeah.
we're probably just butchering our explanations, but yeah, it's essentially just like a conversational model, artificial intelligence kind of thing. I think Brie nailed it. There's like a new version, so we're going to be using 3 or 3.5. We're not using 4, which at the time of this recording is a paid for version, and that is
Okay.
a very much upgraded model that a lot of people are saying is a lot better, but we're rocking with the free one today.
Yeah, so how I've seen people online using this, they'll be like, "Write me a grocery list for the week." And
Yeah.
ChatGPT will give you a grocery list, or it'll say, "Hey, I wanna make lasagna. Write me a grocery list for this lasagna recipe." And it'll be like, "Okay, because you're making this lasagna recipe, this is everything you need to buy from the store." And
Yep.
so people have been using on the I mean, you can use out the other spectrum. I've seen people do it where they're like, "Write me a horror movie script, including nacho cheese dip and a teddy bear." And
Yep.
it'll write a horror script for a movie, including nacho cheese dip and a teddy bear. And so it's like it can just create whatever you think. So people have been using this. I've mainly seen, I don't know if you've seen it in different ways, Alex, but with like grocery lists and then like recipes, like high protein stuff. Have you seen it used any other way in
Oh my god.
in
Every
the
single way
States?
possible. Setting
Okay.
up spreadsheets, setting up like literally any way possible. People are using it in their jobs now and
Oh, yeah. I've
like
seen
in
that
different
too.
ways. So it's I really think without getting too much into like the artificial intelligence talk, like I feel like this is going to change the world in a very dramatic way, the same way like borderline the way the internet or like maybe too much of a jump to say like electricity, but I
Yeah.
think in the next like 2 to 5 years we're going to see some really crazy stuff, and to be honest we already are. Like even if you go on Canva and you
Yeah.
just say like create a photo of a panda riding a surfboard with a sunset and there's a mountain range in the background and like beaches and like whatever you want. There's a couple people doing a picnic and there's a giraffe on like a jet ski. It'll do that.
You
Canva.
need to do that now. After we finish this episode, you have to do that,
That'll
and
be
then
the
we're gonna
cover art
post it
for
on
like this episode or
Instagram.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to post it on
For
stories or
context.
somewhere.
Yeah, for context,
Exactly.
you need to go see this episode.
And then we'll just put, "If you know, you
You
know," and we'll
know.
link the podcast. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, do you want to pull up the questions? Because I have my two monitors right now. Will you pull up the
Yes.
questions? They're on Trello. And we kind of have a loose framework for what we want to ask, but we might just kind of see how it goes. Um,
So I don't really see the questions. I just said we asked GPT to make us this, 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 and
yeah,
this.
and that's
The
fine.
okay.
So,
Okay,
so
cool.
we'll just with the workout program start there. All right.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
I'm
So
going to
let's
say,
first
Chat GPT, can
yep.
you make me a workout program?
Let's be even more specific. Let's say
Okay.
make me a hypertrophy-based
Okay. Cool.
workout program.
Hypertrophy based workout program. All right. Enter. It says, sure, I can help you with that. However, it's important to note that a workout program should always be tailored to an individual's goals, fitness level, and any existing injuries or health conditions. With that said, here's a sample hypertrophy based workout program that you can consider as a starting point. Day one,
First I'll pause. I love that
the
it
context.
said that at the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
I'm already
Um,
really impressed.
okay. So I've done this before and it wasn't that good. This one is not that bad. I'm not going to
Well,
lie.
did you specify hypertrophy when you did it
Yeah.
the last time? Okay.
No.
No? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is going to be
Okay,
a lot.
read us oh,
I'm going to be talking for a while.
well, can you summarize it?
Sure,
Well,
sure.
why do you say
I'm
a
just gonna.
while? Is it a week's worth of workouts
It's
or
5 days of workouts. 4 days of workouts.
let's just do day 1.
Sure. Day one, upper body. We'll do day one and day two, upper body, lower body.
Okay.
It has as a 4 day upper lower split.
Okay.
It gives
Love
two
it.
rest days. Doesn't say day seven, just assuming rest there, but it's saying day three and day six are rest. Day one, two, four, five are upper, lower in that order.
Okay.
Day one, barbell bench press, 4 sets by 8 to 12 reps. Bent over barbell rows, 4 sets by 8 to 12 reps. Seated dumbbell shoulder press, 3 sets by 10 to 15 reps. Cable tricep push downs, 3 sets by 10 to 15 reps. Bicep curls, 3 by 10 by 15, 10 to 15. And then plank, 3 by 30 to 60 seconds. All right. Let's just right now give this an A to F.
How about okay, we don't discuss. On 3, we'll both just say what we give it, okay?
Okay, and we're doing plus,
And
neutral, or
minuses.
minus. Yes.
Okay.
So it could be like a
A
letter with
minus, A plus, that
or
kind of
just an
thing.
A kind of thing, right?
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
B
B
minus.
minus.
What?
Oh,
How crazy is that?
okay,
Oh my
you
gosh.
start. Why do you give it a B minus?
Okay, so I like that it has. I think it's not terrible in the sense of like, yeah, I mean, this will cover your bases. You got a push, you got a pull. You have both a horizontal and a vertical push. You have a little bit of arm stuff. I think um, doing like this 4 by 8 to 12 is kind of like this very standard framework that will get a lot of people where they want to go, but it's lacking a little bit of nuance on the RIR side of things, the RPE side of
True,
things.
true.
Um, I think anytime we work with a fixed implement like a barbell bench press or a barbell row, I mean, you know this, like
Right,
it doesn't necessarily, it won't be like, oh, you're going to be having joint pain. It just increases the potential for joint pain because it's a fixed implement and you can't rotate to where your joints might feel a little more comfortable. So that's kind of my
right.
initial thoughts. What about you?
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I think, I'm taking into account also the first part, right? Saying, "Hey, just by the way, this doesn't account for injury, personal,
Hmm.
all the certain stuff."
So
But it's
true.
like, here you go. And if you're someone who has no idea what to even start doing, this is pretty
It's pretty
solid. Like,
damn
I
good.
don't really like the cable tricep push down, and
Yep,
depending on like
agreed.
how,
The rope
how
push
that's
down.
set up,
Yep.
it's not most optimal. But then I also have to remember, like, I think you and me both probably get in this minds. At least me. I get in this mindset zone of what's optimal, but, like, at the
Yep.
same time, like, there's a lot of people doing, like, shitty exercises getting jacked, you know what I mean? And
Facts.
so, we can talk optimal all day long. I do think it's important, like you said, like, joint stuff and accounting for that, but, like, 8 to 12, I love that it did 8 to 12 and not, like, 10 to 15 or 20 to 25. I love that it stayed in that rep range. 4 sets, you could probably do 3 and be fine. You don't necessarily need 4, but, like, B minus is saying, like, this is pretty solid to start out, and then you could definitely tailor it to be even better, but I'm not mad at this,
One
to
thing
be
that
honest.
So, just a heads up for our listeners, Bree cannot see this, so she's just relying on what I'm telling her.
Yeah,
One thing that I'm seeing here is every day at the end of it, we have a 3 by 30 to 60 second plank. Now, I'm
okay,
just going to say that that does kind of lower my rating a little bit. I think
yeah,
in terms of if you want to grow your rectus abdominis, I don't think that just a plank is going to really do it because it's an isometric hold. It's
right.
not taking the muscle through a full, range of motion.
Contraction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So I think like a cable crunch, a gar hammer would be preferred for me on an
yeah,
ab
no, I
workout.
like that. What I do like, I think I'm kinda playing devil's advocate, is that it only gives you 1 core exercise each day versus doing, like,
Facts.
3,
Yeah.
right? I do
Yeah.
love that it didn't just overload with ab stuff. It was just like, "Hey, this is plenty of volume for you to do." Honestly, I think it's more than you need, but it's not overloading you on volume, and I think in total, it's like 5 upper body exercises,
5 upper body and then
and
the
then the
plank. Yep.
core.
Yep.
Yeah, and again,
20
that's
sets. So I think that's, I mean, 20 sets is a hard day.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
general recommendation, I probably wouldn't go much above 20, definitely not above 30 in a day.
Right,
Very roughly. I think a lot of people kind of find that sweet spot around like 12 to 20, depending on the day,
right.
depending on compound versus isolation too. But
Right.
you want to
Yeah,
go in the
this
lower
is
body now?
yeah, going to lower body.
All right, so day two, lower body squats, 4 by 8 to 12, deadlifts, 4 by 8 to 12, leg press, 3 by 10 to 15, leg curls, 3 by 10 to 15, standing calf raises, 3 by 10 to 15, and then the plank again. This
Yeah.
is this is a workout from hell.
Yeah,
This would be the
this
hardest day of your life.
the exact same thing. I was like, literally, you're going through that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die.
You're gonna
That is
die.
a hard
If you're
day.
actually taking your sets close to failure, that would be the hardest workout you've
I
done
would
all
be
like, you
dead.
I'm not kidding, I'd probably vomit. I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What would we
let's ooh.
change? Before
Well,
we
do we wanna
say
rate this on an
let's
A to
let's
F scale first before we say?
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. C.
D.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, you went a little bit
So,
lower than me. Yeah, I said C, you said
dude,
D.
somebody would just be wrecked from this.
I
Like,
agree.
I think, like, there's just such a better way. Like, I'm borderline, like, D minus F because this is so
Yeah.
unrealistic
Yeah.
for a workout to look like this. Like, squats, deadlifts, and leg press all on one day. Pick
Yeah.
one of those. Like, pick one of
Yeah.
those, and
It's
maybe you
very
can do 2 out
repetitive
of 3.
it's very repetitive too for having all of those 3 things, I think, on the
Yeah.
same day.
Yep.
I rated it a C just because I think we're on the exact same page with how we feel with this. Our scaling's just different because I agree, like, this is just way too hard for, like, most people and just is gonna obliterate you. Um, I mean, you could do it, but, like, geez Louise, it's gonna make you're gonna dread going to the gym and have a hard time going to the gym
Facts.
after you do this day,
Can
for
you
sure.
imagine getting done with barbell back squats, and then you still have 4 sets of deadlift, and then
I can
leg
imagine
press?
that, but I can't imagine after deadlift then having leg
No,
press.
absolutely not.
I
No, I'm
can't.
going home. I'm skipping that. There's no shot of doing that. So I give this one a D. You give it a C. Changes that I would make. I don't love having squats and deadlifts on the same day personally, especially if we're talking
Yeah,
like barbell squats, barbell deadlifts. I think there's just a degree of technicality, and you need to be very precise on these movements.
yeah,
I'm not saying you have to be perfect with your form or anything. It's just like, you kind of have to have form cleaned up. Whereas leg press is one of those that, like, you just push. I mean, for the most part, you
mhm,
just push it.
pretty stable,
You're in a
you know?
stable
Yeah.
environment. So I think I would take out like either squats or deadlifts and then add in like maybe a leg extension or some kind of like quad dominant exercise that won't absolutely like destroy you.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with all that. I honestly would just probably restructure this day completely, like, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, do we wanna squat that day? Do we wanna deadlift that day? Or do we wanna leg press? I'm not against putting a squat and a leg press in the same day. I've probably done it before. It's not my forte just because it's a little bit repetitive. But I would probably pick which one we're doing as, like, our hard compound lift and then structure around that and be like, "Okay, we're doing some leg curl, we're doing leg extensions, or we need maybe some unilateral movements." There's just way too much to this day.
Yeah,
So,
agreed. So I want to also say we do have a day 4, day 5, but I think for the sake of time and repetitiveness, let's move past the workout stuff.
well, wait, I
Now,
wanna say one last thing before I move forward,
sure.
unless you have something you're gonna say.
Yeah, it has a notes section on here, and the
Oh,
notes are pretty solid. So this is at the end. The
okay.
notes say, perform each exercise with proper form and use a weight that challenges you within the desired rep range. Awesome. Perform
Wow.
a warm up before each workout to prevent injuries and improve performance. Awesome. Remember to progressively overload the weight, reps, or sets as your strength and fitness level improves. Include some cardiovascular exercise like walking, running, cycling, or swimming for at least 150 minutes per week to promote overall health and fitness.
What's 150 minutes? What would that be?
2.5 hours.
Okay.
That's the American Heart Association recommendation.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm sure that's probably where they're pulling it
That's
from.
probably
But
where I got
just
it
like,
from, yeah.
let me say, ChatGPT A plus plus on these notes.
Yeah,
A plus
agreed.
plus.
A++,
Like,
agreed.
so you go, ChatGPT. I'm gonna
You go,
tell
Glen
ChatGPT.
Coco.
Yeah, four for you. Is that what they say in that movie?
It's,
All right.
in Mean Girls, he says, "You go, Glen Coco."
I'm gonna say good job, ChatGPT. All right. ChatGPT says thank you. If you have any further questions or need any more help, feel free to ask. All right. What's the
Wow.
next thing we want to ask it on our board?
Well, wait, I just wanna add one last thing since we're moving
Yeah,
away from programming.
go for it.
If you're thinking about doing ChatGPT for your programming, but you don't want, like, a B, C, D grade, Alex and I both have training programs that take
Yeah,
this grade from a D, C, B to
to
an
an A
A++,
plus plus. Yeah,
where we take care of, again, structuring all of that, making sure when you're not over fatiguing, teaching you about RIR, RPE, which it doesn't even include. So if you're interested, you need a training program, check out Alex and I's. Well, he has one set. We both have separate ones, but check out one of ours. Shoot us a DM on Instagram if you have questions about it. Um, because
And
we
we both have
basically just take all
7-day
that
free
for you.
trials, so you can
Yeah,
try out both of them if you want to. Yeah.
true.
We
Yeah,
both have
true.
home and full gym options, so you
Yeah,
can try out all 4 if you wanted.
cool. Just wanna plug that in there. Little shameless plug for both of us.
Good plug. Okay, what's the next thing we wanted to ask it?
Next one is, to make us a nutrition menu, but I feel like we need to be a little bit more.
We have to be specific about what we want. So
Let's
we're
do this.
bulking. We're both bulking. Maybe we say something along those lines?
Well, let me say, so our next question was make macronutrient recommendations.
Mhm.
So maybe we say make macronutrient recommendations for a bulk
Yep.
or for a deficit or
Okay.
in some of those lines.
You wanna do your calories or my calories? Because or, like, so I'm gonna say, like, I'm a 28-year-old male or female based on whichever one of us we're using. Who do you wanna
Let's
use?
use me and
Okay.
let's add in, would this be weird if we add in like for the summertime, like specified the time of year? I don't know if that would change it.
Sure, let's try it
Okay.
out. Okay, so what do we wanna
So,
say? Um, I'm looking to continue my bulk.
okay.
Um, how many calories should I be eating? I'm a 28-year-old
Female,
woman
okay.
um,
5 foot
who
7 and
5 foot
151 pounds.
7, 151 pounds. I'm moderately active. I'd say you're moderately
Yeah,
active.
moderately active.
Yeah, I'm moderately active. What should my calories and protein targets be? Good.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Let's do simple.
Okay, to determine your daily calorie and protein targets for bulking, we need to calculate your total daily energy expenditure first. TDEE is an estimation of how many calories your body burns in a day based on your age, height, weight, gender, and activity level. Once we have your TDEE, we can add a surplus of calories to it to support muscle growth. Here we can calculate your TDEE using the Harris-Benedict equation. Then it gives like the equation for your BMR. It calculates your
Okay.
BMR at 1,437 calories.
Okay.
Then it says to calculate TDEE, we need to multiply BMR by an activity factor that represents your daily activity level. For moderate activity, the activity factor is 1.55. So we're at 2,200 calories. So your estimated TDEE is 2227 calories per day. I'm just going to round it to 2,200.
Okay.
To gain weight, you'll need to add a calorie surplus to this number. A moderate calorie surplus of 250 to 500 calories per day is a good starting point for most people. In your case, let's add a 300 calorie surplus to your TDEE. So it gives you a new calorie target of 2527 calories. They said
This is so great. I love this. Okay, keep going.
They say, now let's calculate your protein target. Protein is essential for building and repairing muscle tissue, and a good starting point for protein intake during a bulk is zero point 0.8 to 1 gram a pound of protein per pound of body weight. So it calculates it at 1 gram per pound, does 151 grams. They said, remember that these are just estimates and everybody's body is unique, so you may need to adjust your calorie and protein intake based on your individual response to the diet and training. It's also important to get enough carbohydrates and healthy fats in your diet to support energy and hormonal balance.
Wow. Okay,
Woo!
let's rate it real well, you don't know what my calories are and my protein is wait, what does it say for my protein?
151 grams. It's a
Okay.
safe bet. That's a safe bet.
Yeah. Let's you want to scale of 1 to or
Yeah,
A to F?
A to F.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm struggling on which to pick,
I,
but
I I've got mine locked.
okay, ready? 1,
Are you?
2,
Hold on.
go.
Let me just say. Let me say on the record that I hate the way you're doing this. One, two, three, and then we're saying it on four. Is that what we're doing?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, say it.
On four, basically,
So
in
on
replacement of
4,
four.
yeah.
Okay.
How would
Okay.
you prefer me to do it? Like 1,
Three,
2, say
two,
it?
one, bank.
Well, I'll
Boom.
do that then. We'll count backwards.
Okay. Okay.
That's all you
Because
wanted to change
then,
to
then
count
then
it
it's a
backwards.
definitive, and we say it on go in replacement of go. So three, two, one, blank.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, A+.
B plus. A
Oh,
plus?
that's an
It
A+.
was spot on. Well, it was spot on.
It was spot on, except for my
Wow.
protein, but like you said, it was a really safe guess. You know what I
Well,
mean? It
and they
doesn't
give the range of point 0.8 to 1. And I think like
yeah.
and
It was
now the range is coming down to from, point 0.8 to point 0.7 to 1, but like that's not leading you astray. It's not wrong. It's just
yeah.
like maybe it's overkill, but it's not a bad thing, you know?
And I said before I said it, I was struggling. I was gonna do A plus or A minus because,
Okay.
okay, let's just say, like, I know, like, I have a different it doesn't know how much muscle someone has on them,
Sure.
what their physique is like, all that's just guessing, and
Sure.
so I was like, A minus because it doesn't know, but at the same time, like, it doesn't know and it's recommending this, which is
Right.
incredible.
Yeah.
So I gave it an A plus because I was just very shocked with the limited. I mean, we did it at my height, my weight, all that with the limited amount of information, how spot on it was.
Hmm.
And then it went on the safe side of like, hey, let's just do 151 grams of protein. Like I'd rather give me over protein than under.
Yep.
Um, because, so I was just really impressed because I think because it was spot on for me.
What are
So,
your about bulking target right now?
I'm currently at 2,500 calories.
Shut
Ac
up.
I'm actually gonna up it because I'm
Yeah.
starting to kinda plateau a little bit, so I think I'm gonna go
Yep.
up to about 2,600.
Yep.
So it's literally in there, and my protein's 120.
Wow.
So but that's just because I go based off of, like,
The
lean
point
body
seven,
mass
point
versus
eight.
my
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Or
point
that.
0.8, and then I go off more of, like, a lean body mass, calculation. So that's why when I started laughing when you were talking because I was like, "This isn't real life." Like, how is and then he was saying, like, just remember, like, these are ballpark, like, just everything.
Yeah.
I was so this
It's a
is
very
literally
nuanced
better
answer.
do what?
It's a very nuanced answer.
Yeah, and it was I think why I'm so impressed as we're not even that far in, but, like, it's so it's just, like, a very healthy answer. It's not
Exactly.
telling you to cut out carbs, it's saying, "Hey, you need a healthy amount of fats, you need a healthy amount of carbs," like, it's promoting a very it's like you go onto MyFitnessPal, and it's like, "You need to be eating
1,200
1,000
calories.
calories," and then you know how you put something in MyFitnessPal and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're going over your sodium for the
Oh,
day,"
so
and it's in
frustrating.
red, and it's
Yeah.
like, ChatGPT has been,
Demeaning.
like, really positive.
Yeah. No,
So, I'm impressed.
ChatGPT is awesome. I'm gonna say for everybody that wants to try ChatGPT, it is free. You just go to chat.openai.com. You might have to make an account or something like that, but again, all free unless you go for the paid for version. But everything that you see here, it's not necessarily going to replicate it with your results. And so you can always ask it to regenerate a response. I think my only recommendation here would be I would be curious to see if we were 250 pounds or something that was overweight, if it would still
Mm,
use the 1 gram per pound of body weight
let's do
measurement,
it.
or sure.
Yeah,
Let me
well,
just say, like,
maybe do you wanna finish your thought first of how it did mine, and then we'll go into that?
no, I don't really mind so
Okay,
much. I think I'm just gonna
okay.
say, like, if actually, you know what? I do want to say one thing on this. I'm gonna ask it, with this calorie target, how many grams of fiber
Oh,
should I be
okay, yeah,
eating?
I love that.
And we're shooting for, the American Heart Association, I'm pretty sure it is 14 grams per 1,000 calories. So, like,
Right.
for you,
Yeah,
you're shooting for, like, 25 grams ish, 30
right.
grams, something like that. Let's see. A general guideline, dude.
I loved watching your face there. If y'all are not watching this on YouTube, like, his
Just
face, he looked and
dismay.
then it just drops.
Almost
It
like
was just funny.
dejected. Like, we're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
All right. So I said, I asked, with this calorie target, how many grams of fiber should I be eating? Chat said, a general guideline for daily fiber intake is 14 grams per 1,000 calories consumed. With your calorie target of 25, 27 calories per day, your daily fiber intake would ideally be around 35 grams per day. However, it's important to note that individual fiber needs may vary depending on factors such as age, gender, and activity level. It's always a good idea to consult with a registered dietitian or healthcare professional to determine your specific nutrient needs.
I love the however, and then it just solid goes into it.
So
Wow,
good. So
that was
good.
really
I think
good.
I think that fiber intake might be a little bit high. Especially I mean, I don't know. And maybe it's not. I think just for anybody listening to this, don't feel like, "Oh my gosh, if that's my calories, I need 35 grams of protein." Or 35 grams of fiber, sorry.
Fiber. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just kind of monitor your own gastrointestinal kind of like feedback. See if there's any bloating, any nausea.
Any
But
not pooping.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But like
Yeah.
be inquisitive about it and see if, like, this GI distress, is it because of a certain food you're eating, or is it because of your total fiber intake? So that would be my only recommendation on that end.
Yeah. Uh, so what would you give that, for a rating for its fiber? What it rated what it, recommended?
I don't think we have to do a 3, 2, 1 on this one.
No, we
I
don't.
think it's just an
Just go
A.
for it.
I feel like this is an A. I think it's a safe recommendation. It's not telling you like 10 grams, it's not telling you 100 grams. I think anywhere in the neighborhood
Why
of
not an
25
A
to 30,
plus? Like,
because I'm
what's
jealous.
missing? I'm sorry?
I said because I'm jealous.
Jealous?
I
You
mean,
can't admit that it's doing a really good job.
yeah, right. No,
What?
maybe it's an A plus.
Okay.
Honestly, like what
I was
else?
just curious.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, it's probably an A plus. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
Okay.
All right, what do we want to ask it next? Oh, actually, do we want to ask it like if I'm overweight, have a lot of excess body fat, how much protein should I be eating?
Um, I so we're doing a really good job of giving it very specific questions, right?
We want
Your
to keep it with this
average
line
Gen
of
Pop person may not ask it what's the word I'm looking for? Specifically, like we're making sure we give it every
all the
information so it's going to
context.
be yeah, so it's successful. Let's just say I'm 5 foot whatever, something pounds that would indicate overweight or being obese. And say how much protein do I need?
All right, I'm going to say I'm 5 foot tall
Okay.
and 265 pounds with
Okay.
a lot of excess body fat.
No, don't even put
No,
that.
no, okay,
Yeah.
no,
Let's
just
see
okay.
let's see if it gets that.
Okay, I'm 5 foot tall and 265 pounds. I'm a 5 foot tall woman.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
And 265 pounds. How much protein should I be eating?
Yep. Leave it at that.
Yeah, we're not talking about muscle growth. We're not talking about fat
I
loss.
just
We're
and
just.
and then I think we have to understand like ah, you gasped.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Wait, let me pause. Whatever
Sure.
after you read it, whatever we rate it, we have to understand that like we didn't give it the full picture. But you already gasped, so I'm sure like it's either good or bad. Just go ahead.
Brie, this
What
is
did it say?
so good. It just finished typing.
What did it
We
say?
Protein intake is an important factor in weight loss and weight management. A good starting point for protein intake is zero point 0.8 to 1 gram of 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. However, when it comes to overweight or obese individuals, a more accurate way to determine protein needs
Go
is
on.
to use lean body mass (LBM) instead of total body weight. Lean body
Wow.
mass represents the weight of your body without the fat. A higher lean body mass means that you have more muscle mass, which has a higher metabolic rate compared to fat. Therefore, it's more metabolically active and requires more calories to maintain. Without knowing your body fat percentage, it's difficult to determine your lean body mass accurately. However, as a rough estimate, let's assume that your body fat percentage is around 40%, which means that your lean body mass is around 60% of your total body weight. To calculate your protein intake based on your lean body mass, you can use the following formula. And then it gives the formula. They said, assuming that your lean body mass is around 60% of your total body weight, your lean body mass would be around 159 pounds. Protein intake, 159 times 0.8 to 1 gram. Protein intake equals 127 to 159 grams of protein per day. So,
Wow.
as an overweight or obese woman with a total body weight of 265 pounds and an estimated lean body mass of 159 pounds, your protein intake should be around 127 to 159 grams of protein per day. However, it's important to note that these are just rough estimates, and individual protein needs may vary depending on factors such as age, gender, and activity level. It's always best to, and then yada, yada, yada. Should we retire?
Right? I mean, I think we both sighed there because we realized our jobs are done for, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's
I'm
just
just
this
kidding.
realization of
There's
like we're
obviously,
done.
like
The
we can talk
coaching
about this maybe towards
aspect.
the end, like the difference I think in this and like where
Yeah.
we maybe see it going in the future, but, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll say
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, A
A
plus.
plus. Yeah.
Yeah. It
This
was
was
just
really good.
really good, especially with how limited information we gave it.
Yeah. Okay. How about we use
Wow.
um
Well,
should
I
we
have one that I'm excited for you to dive into.
Okay.
If you wanna keep going on this, we can.
No, let's do it.
What
Yeah.
do you wanna do what were you wanting to do next?
Well, I think at some point we should give it the calories, give it our protein and fiber goal that it's calculated for you, and then
Okay.
say like build a menu.
Ooh,
Build like a grocery list, build a menu. I think the steps should be like build a menu and then build a grocery list off of that menu.
let's do that. Let's keep on the same track that we're on, and then I'm excited for this last one that we have on here. So,
Okay. So if I'm a what are you, 5 foot like 6,
7, 5 foot
7?
7,
You're tall.
151 right? I know, tall girl energy.
Brie and I have never met. We're meeting in May. Pretty excited. Are
Same.
wait, we are right? Are
Yeah,
we?
we are. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't mean to pause like that.
I was like, wait.
No, we are. We
Okay.
are.
All right. I'm 5 foot 7 inches. If I'm a 5 foot 7 woman weighing 151
151.
pounds with a goal of muscle growth during my bulk, I'm just going to say like I am, not if I am, but I
Okay.
am. I'm shooting for, I'm going to say 2,600 calories.
Perfect. Yeah.
2,600 calories and what? How many grams protein? 120.
120.
120
120, yeah.
grams protein and do you track fiber? 25 grams fiber, we could say.
Yeah, 25 grams fiber.
25 grams of fiber. Could you make me a 3-day menu?
Let's not do 3 day. I feel like it's gonna be so long. Could you make me a like
A sample day of eating.
a sample? Yes, perfect. Sample day of eating.
A sample day of eating to hit these targets. Is there any foods that you want to see in particular? Or any foods that you don't want
Ooh,
to see?
we should add in like I'm vegan or vegetarian or something. I'm
Okay.
not, but do you think we should throw that curveball or just see what it does? Let's do this
Let's just
first and
let's just
then
see what it does. Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll
Okay.
throw it a curveball.
All right. So the question is, I'm a 5'7" woman weighing 151 pounds with a goal of muscle growth during my bulk. I'm shooting for 2,600 calories and 120 grams protein and 25 grams of fiber. Could you make me a sample day of eating to hit these targets? Enter.
Beautiful.
Certainly. Here's a sample meal plan that should meet your calorie, protein, and fiber goals. Breakfast: 2 large eggs, scrambled, 12 grams protein. 1 slice whole wheat toast, 4 grams protein, 3 grams fiber. 1 medium orange, 2 grams protein, 3 grams fiber. Snack: 1 medium apple, 1 ounce almonds. It does give the protein and fiber after each thing.
Oh, cool.
Lunch: 4 ounces of grilled chicken breast, 1 cup cooked quinoa, 1 cup steamed broccoli. Second snack is 1 medium banana, 1 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. Dinner is 4 ounces of grilled salmon, 1 cup of cooked brown rice, 1 cup of roasted asparagus. And then the third snack is 1 medium pear, 1 ounce cheddar cheese. And then it says this meal plan totals approximately 2,600 calories, 120 grams protein, and 25 grams fiber. Keep in mind that this is just a sample and you can adjust to your preferences. Also, make sure to drink plenty of water throughout the day to stay hydrated.
What? It added the little water thing in there? Love that. Wow. Okay.
So let me say that this one looks pretty good. I'm eyeballing it. I'm not adding up all these individual numbers of protein and fiber. I'd need some time, just like 30 seconds to do that. I don't
Yeah.
think we should do that live. I've done something like this in the past, and the numbers were way off. And I'm not saying they are here. I am not saying they are
Okay.
here. I'm just saying that for anybody listening, if you try to do this, just please keep in mind that
Double
the
check.
numbers, double check the numbers. Yeah, be sure to double check the numbers on
Okay.
both protein, fiber, and the calories because it could be
Okay.
slightly off.
Okay.
Still,
Do we want to rate this?
definitely
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
A
A
plus.
minus.
Why the A
Ooh,
minus?
I give it A minus. You know why I gave it A minus?
A lot of snacks, small meals.
No. 1, where are the cookies, where are the pizza in this?
Mm,
Okay. I need some
yep.
fun foods.
Yeah, you do.
2, they don't give you in grams or ounces. It's all cups and stuff.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
changing my answer because what a good acknowledgement, and I 100% agree.
Yeah. Which
Yes,
again, it's nothing wrong. Like you could obviously like my
you could
rice bag
ballpark
of
it, sure,
well, not in that, but my rice bag says like 1 cup or 45 grams. So you could easily switch that. But if I'm
sure.
trying to be like, okay, GPT has been so amazing. I'm like, I'm gonna get tough on this thing, you know? And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, you didn't
sure.
put in grams and ounces. So you're already encouraging people to measure in cups and tablespoons, which will make people be off. And then 2, all of the foods here are the quote unquote clean stuff, which is nothing wrong. Like this is a very nutritious, wonderful way to eat, but it doesn't help people to be like, okay, here, let's balance like having a Rice Krispie treat, but also hitting your protein goals. And so if someone was to pull up this meal plan, they might feel restricted. They're just eating beef and chicken and rice and broccoli all day long, and they're not learning how to fit in fun
Foods that they
foods.
enjoy. Yeah, the fun foods. Yeah.
However, yeah, we only asked it for 1 day, all that, but this is me being hard. That's why I gave it the A minus because it didn't include any fun foods and it put everything in cups.
Okay, so while you were saying that, I asked
Okay.
it, could you change these from volume measurements to weight measurements? It did that. It gave
Oh,
us grams
beautiful.
on every single thing. And it also said at the end, please note that these weight measurements are approximations and may vary depending on the actual size and weight of the food you use. To ensure the most accurate measurement, you may want to use a kitchen scale.
Wow. Okay, A plus now.
Really good. How
Wow.
about we also add in the thing of this feels a bit boring. Could we add some fun foods like, I don't
No,
know.
just add fun foods. I'm wondering what fun foods is its definition.
Sure. So I'm going to say this feels a bit boring. Could we add some fun foods? Let's see. Says sure. Let's incorporate some more fun foods while staying within your calorie, protein, and fiber goals. Here's an updated sample meal plan. It now has. It's changed quite a bit.
Okay.
It kept all of the gram measurements, the protein, the fiber, but now we're working with things like 1 ounce dark chocolate, 2 whole grain pancakes, 2 turkey sausage links, 1 cup
Wow.
of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, peanut butter. Um, we got like a grilled chicken sandwich.
Oh, no, not as fun as I wanted it, but the fact that it went from, like, a grilled chicken breast
Super
and broccoli
strict
to, like,
to
a
like,
sandwich, like,
yeah.
it put a little pizzazz into there.
Hmm.
And then the dark chocolate, that was cute, but, that wow,
Pretty good.
that's
Pretty
pretty
good.
good.
So I had asked the other day. I had a meeting with Mike Dola, and if for listeners who are unfamiliar with Mike Dola, he created a nutrition company called Stronger You. Anyways, he was a co-founder of that. He recently took a very sizable exit from that. It's public information, so if you want to go look it up, you can. But anyways, I had asked him, "Do you think that AI could replace my job?" And he said he took some time to think about it, and then he said no. And the reason is people could have the best plan laid out from them, but unless it is given to somebody that they respect, it will not, they won't follow it and they won't be held accountable. And I was nervous about that, but I do agree with him that people are going to be more ready to listen to people like you or me because we have lived experiences. No,
100%.
no disrespect to ChatGPT, but you are just a chat model. And if ChatGPT is listening to this podcast in the future, I'm very sorry for diminishing you to that. We always
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
we'll
kind
try
to
to
the AIs just in
right.
case.
The
Just in
AIs are gonna
case.
come after you.
Yeah, exactly.
Never know.
You
So,
never
we're
know.
sorry ahead of time.
Yeah, we're sorry ahead of time and we respect you. And we're giving
Yes.
you really good grades, all things considered.
Yes.
On this, yeah, I mean, this is like an A for me. It's pretty solid. I think just be
Yeah.
aware of what the calculations are actually looking like and what it adds up to. Do your due
Yeah.
diligence.
But I wanna before we move on from that, I wanted just to keep diving into what you said about, like, what Mike Dola said is, like, I agree, like, for a big reason I know when I've worked with coaches in the past and when people reach out to me, they're like, "I saw XYZ that you posted and I related to that." There's this
Yep.
relatability
Yeah.
that is so valuable in having a coach, whether that's just chatting about, like, what you're going like, I have a lot of clients where their friends aren't into fitness, they're not into working out, they're not into, eating healthy, whatever it is, and so it's nice to have someone that gets where you're coming from, not
Yeah.
only currently, but previously or in the future, and that's just invaluable, and I think to this point, even before AI, like, we have Google. You can Google a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like,
True.
you can go on tdecalculator.net and get your macros. You can look up recipes on Pinterest. Like,
You
yeah,
could
is it
find
as
a
nice
cheap
as
workout program. Is it going to be
yeah.
perfect? Is it individualized? No, but
You
it'll
can go
get
on
you.
Instagram and pull up so many different people's workouts, like, people, like you said, offer free workout stuff, like, this stuff is available on the internet, yet coaches are still so incredibly valuable, and so,
Agreed.
I just don't see anything being able to replace that relationship that
Yeah.
you have with a client,
The human
um,
element
human element,
is
100%,
important. I'm going
100%.
to ask it now. Could you make a grocery list for me using this sample meal plan?
Yeah. It's gonna do it with flying colors. I've seen people do this, and it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one's pretty straightforward. It's doing it right now. It's not giving me the exact quantities. I'm sure I could get it, if I ask it to make the quantities, I could. Um, so it gives a huge list. I'm not going to read it all out because it's a long list of probably like
Yeah.
60 items. And then it says, remember to check your pantry and fridge for any items you may already have on hand to avoid unnecessary
Stop.
purchases. Also, feel free to adjust the quantities of each item based on your personal preferences and dietary needs. I'm just going to say, like, could you turn this into a table format? I don't know why I would need that, but I just want to see if it will.
Oh, see if it'll do it. So it's easier to look at probably. Oh, wow. If you guys
Oh,
can't see his face right now, but
oh, it's
his
shocked.
chin is on the floor.
Okay, so it broke it down. It's a table, and the
Yeah.
columns at the top of each column, it says protein and dairy, produce, grains, nuts and seeds, meat and seafood, and then other, and then it just has it boom broken down.
Wow.
I wonder what should be the rough price for this grocery trip. It's going to be like, well, depending on where you live.
100%.
Yeah, it says that cost can vary greatly depending on your location. And now it is giving me, it's It's a little bit wonky on this one. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit wonky. The columns kind of got messed up. The
Okay.
rows kind of got messed up. It's trying its best to formulate a total cost. It said $89, but it seems like we're missing some stuff, and the layout is very, very, very confusing. I think it was because it tried to stick with the table format.
Yeah, that was hard.
It's a little bit hard. All right, what's the next question that we have for it written
Well,
down?
okay, this one's not on there, but
Uh-huh.
I think we should ask it some fitness myths, like, is fasted cardio better? And see how it answers
Sure.
things that are not
Yeah.
like, even ask it, like, are BCAAs good to have? Like, we just did the supplement podcast. Like, let's ask it something of that sort. What do you wanna start with?
Um,
I think we
I don't
should
know.
fasted cardio. I don't know why that one comes to mind, but let's just say, is fasted cardio better for fat loss?
Okay. Got it. There's some evidence to suggest. Oh, I don't agree. Disagree. But we're gonna
F,
start. We're
F,
just
F.
we're yeah yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it kind of walks it back. All right. So it says there is some evidence to suggest that fasted cardio exercise performed on an empty stomach, usually first thing in the morning, may be more effective for fat loss than cardio performed after a meal later in the day. The idea behind fasted cardio is that when your body's in a fasted state, it has lower levels of stored glycogen, the body's primary source of energy, which can cause it to turn to stored fat for fuel during exercise. However, the evidence is not conclusive, and the effectiveness of fasted cardio for fat loss can vary depending on factors such as type and intensity of the exercise, the individual's diet and fitness level, and their overall lifestyle habits.
Mhm.
Additionally, some studies have suggested the difference in fat loss between fasted and fed cardio may not be significant enough to warrant the discomfort and potential negative side effects of exercising on an empty stomach. Overall, the most important factor for fat loss is to maintain a calorie deficit through
Stop.
a combination of diet and exercise rather than focusing solely on the timing of cardio exercise. It's also important to prioritize healthy lifestyle habits such as getting enough sleep, managing stress, and staying hydrated, which can all contribute to overall health and fitness. Ooh.
Okay. 3.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Just no pressure. Think about it.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Whatever. Yeah. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
B
D
minus.
plus.
D plus.
Oh, D plus. Yeah. You
Okay.
want me to go you wanna
You
explain your grading first?
you go first because I know you're gonna say all the same stuff that I'm gonna say, except you were
Y
harsher, and I'm kind of agreeing with you.
Yeah, the reason why I even gave it a D and not like an F, so this is where I started. I was an F. I was like, "This is totally wrong." And
Yep.
then it was like, "But, there's not enough evidence." And I was like, "Okay, D."
Yep.
And then it was like, outside of a calorie deficit, I was like, "Oh, okay, D plus. We're getting up there."
Sure.
However, it's just not like if someone was curious about fasted cardio and read this, they would still be confused if I should do fasted cardio or not. And so I
Right.
don't think it finally solved the problem for someone curious about this. So I was like D plus because it does hesitate people from believing that it's better and it does bring in the calorie deficit. But other than that, it's just unclear if someone's trying to get a final answer.
Yeah, it doesn't dispel the. I mean, it's just like it's not going to be better. I did like that it said like that the evidence is not conclusive.
Yes,
Um, but to say that it can vary in effectiveness, I disagree with that because
absolutely.
yeah, we're just using different fuel for the same purpose essentially, and
Yeah.
but it doesn't change the amount of fat that we'll lose in terms of adipose tissue or body fat.
Yeah. I just think the whole again, if you had no idea, you're just trying to find the answer, like, you're confused still,
You're
like, if she should be
confused.
doing it or not.
Yeah.
So, what was
Maybe I should just
your
be like, so wait, should I do it? It
it's gonna be like,
says
"Based on your
right.
recommendation."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um honestly it says exactly that. It's like a long okay,
Thing, just
well
saying,
it
I can't
it
do
does
it.
say like it depends on what you prefer, which I think is
Yeah.
kind of fair.
Which
And
that's true. Like, if
yeah,
you
that is true.
enjoy doing cardio on an empty stomach, go for it. Like,
Go
that's not
for it. It's
wrong.
fine.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be any better. And it just says the last paragraph. It gave me 3 paragraphs. I'm not going to read all of it, but it basically just says like ultimately the best approach for fat loss is to focus on creating a sustainable and healthy lifestyle that includes regular exercise, a balanced diet, and healthy lifestyle habits rather than relying on one specific exercise or diet technique. And
Yeah.
I think that paragraph on its own deserves an A plus plus. So many
Yeah.
people find that, or like in my experience, they feel like there is one methodology that is going to work for them and they have to get these results very fast.
Yeah.
Tailor your life to the outcome that you want and you will get it given enough time. That
Yeah.
is my takeaway here is that you can't brute force this you need to, I mean, you can to a degree, right? You
Yeah.
could run a marathon every day.
Yeah.
You could cut out carbs or something like that. These aren't
Right.
recommendations. I'm just saying you could do those things, but I think, yeah, creating a sustainable and healthy lifestyle, and given the parameters that I said, that's
Yeah.
not bad. That's pretty
I
good.
like that. I
It's
do.
not specific. It's general, and I think anybody reading that would say like, "Well, yeah, duh,"
Yeah.
So that's kind of the
But
other side of
from
it.
our perspectives being coaches, like, I think having our perspective, we're like, yes, like preach this more. And so but then people's definition of healthy lifestyle, they're trying to never eat pizza, never eat ice
Sure.
cream,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
restrict. And so for us, like, we're like, yes, create it to your lifestyle. So I think we read that sentence and take it in a little bit different than maybe your average person might.
I'm asking it. Can I eat pizza and ice cream and still lose weight?
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah,
Losing
nailed
weight
it.
is all about creating a calorie deficit, which means burning more calories than you consume. While it is technically possible to lose weight while eating pizza and ice cream, it would require careful attention to portion sizes and overall calorie intake. Pizza and ice cream are often high in calories, fat, and sugar, which can make it challenging to fit them into a weight loss diet without going over your daily calorie limit. That being said, you can still enjoy these foods in moderation as part of a balanced diet that includes plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein sources.
Wow.
To lose weight while still enjoying foods like pizza and ice cream, it's important to practice portion control and balance your meals and snacks throughout the day. This might involve cutting back on other high calorie processed foods to make room for occasional treats or choosing lower calorie versions of your favorite foods. Overall, the key to successful weight loss is to create a sustainable, healthy, blah, 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 blah. So it repeats the same thing that it did last time.
Yeah. Wow.
Good. I think that's
A
good.
plus plus. I'm not even
A
waiting for the
plus.
countdown. A
Yeah,
plus.
A plus.
That was
Phenomenal.
great.
What else do we have on our?
Yeah,
Oh,
so this is the last one. I think we should do this one,
because
and
you
then if
think I'm gonna
anything else
rip this
comes
one
up,
apart.
do what?
You think I'm gonna rip this one apart?
Oh, I don't know. It's just you're the
Yeah.
one that has the most expertise in this, but it's
Sure.
how to deadlift properly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I don't know if you wanna ask it just very general, how do I properly deadlift?
I've never deadlifted before. Could you give me a step by
Advice.
step process to perform a conventional barbell deadlift? Because I don't want it to get confused with dumbbell or whatever.
But I love that you did specifics. I think it's fine. We should go with it, but I also wanna see how well it can tell us without all the
You want me
specifics.
to take out the specifics?
Because, well, I'm
Maybe
just
like
thinking for like a
people aren't going to say conventional. People might not throw in
right.
barbell.
I'm
Okay.
I'm trying to think like, your average person who doesn't know all the terms or things to ask, if they were to say, "Hey, how do I do a deadlift?" How well does it advise someone who doesn't know to ask all the questions that we do?
Okay. I'm going to say I've never deadlifted before. Could you give me the step by step process?
Perfect, let's do that.
All right. Certainly. Deadlifting is a compound exercise that targets the muscles in your legs, back, and core. Here are the steps to perform a conventional deadlift, which is the most common variation. Pretty good.
Okay.
1. Approach the bar with feet shoulder width apart so that the bar is in the middle of your feet. How do you want me to correct this? Do you want me to do it step by step? Because I'm already going to rip this apart.
Oh, I think you need to read through it first.
Fair. Then I'll go back through
Because
it.
I wanna develop my own opinion before you rip it
Okay.
apart, and
Yeah.
then see how we match up, because
Okay.
obviously you're the deadlift master when it comes to this,
I appreciate it.
so, just go ahead, read through the whole thing first.
Okay. And yeah, I'm not gonna like really talk myself up, but I would consider myself one of the best deadlift instructors I personally know.
I agree.
And I'm really gonna toot my own horn for a second. And I've told this to other people, clients and non-clients. I consider my deadlift instruction to be world class, and I actually will.
I would
I would
agree.
put that to the test.
I would agree.
I really appreciate it. Okay. 1, approach the bar with feet shoulder width apart so that the bar is in the middle of your feet. 2, bend down and grip the bar with both hands using an overhand grip, palms facing down, or mixed grip, one palm facing up and one palm facing down. Your hands should be shoulder width apart or slightly wider. 3, brace your core and lift your chest up, keeping your back flat and your shoulder blades pulled down and back. 4, begin the lift by driving through your heels and pushing your hips forward, lifting the bar off the ground. Keep your arms straight and your shoulders back throughout the lift. 5, as you lift the bar, exhale forcefully and continue to engage your core and glutes. 6, when you reach the top of the lift, stand tall with your hips fully extended and the bar held in front of your thighs. 7, lower the bar back down to the ground by reversing the movement, keeping your back flat and core engaged. Some additional tips for performing a safe and effective deadlift include: start with a light weight to include proper form before adding more weight, keep the bar close to your body throughout the lift, avoid rounding your back or allowing your knees to cave in, don't jerk or bounce the bar, and avoid locking your knees at the top of the lift. If you have any existing back or hip injuries or conditions, consult with a medical professional before attempting the deadlift. Last part. Remember,
Okay.
like any exercise, deadlifts require proper form and the technique to avoid injury and get the most benefit. Consider working with a certified personal trainer or coach to ensure that you are performing the exercise correctly and safely.
We love that.
Let me just
Okay.
say that if we do any more ChatGPT episodes, I'm going to need to do cardio so that my lungs can handle speaking this much.
Or are we gonna figure out a way that I take some of this for you so
Oh,
that
it's
way,
totally fine. I really don't
ok
mind.
okay.
If listeners don't like my voice, though, man, this is a tough one to sit through.
Well, you're actually very I was actually thinking this whole podcast, I'm like, "Wow, he's really good at reading this quickly so it doesn't take forever," and
Yeah.
you enunciate very
I try to
well,
I
and
try to enunciate on this because maybe during my normal
I
life I'm
think
gonna
I
be a
would
little
stumble a
mumbly.
ton if it was me, so I think you've done great, so
All right. Do you want
we'll
to
do
give it a rating?
3, 2, 1. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1,
D
C.
minus.
Okay, I give it a C.
I mean, you knew I was going to be more particular on
I
this,
did, yeah.
so I was pretty much always going to give it a lower rating than you were. I think. Anything
Go for
stand
it.
out to you? I know you don't have it
Mm.
in front of you, so it's hard
Well,
to.
no, stand and what do you mean by stand out to me? Like, it was really
Yeah,
good or bad about it kinda thing?
let's say what's bad. Let's rip it apart.
Um, I got this isn't necessarily Chat GPT, but, like, I'm thinking from the perspective of someone who doesn't know how to do one, I'm like, "I can't visualize this." You
Yeah,
know? Like, I can for a part where it's like, okay, feet shoulder width apart, and then there's, like, push your shoulders down. It's like, okay, if you don't know how to engage your lats and all that kinda stuff,
that's
like,
yeah.
you're not gonna know what that means, and so that's a big thing that pointed out is like, this is hard because there's not a would be so much better if there was a video. So that's what really stood out to me, and I think a big part of why I gave it like a there was other reasons why I gave it a D, but that was like it was just
Did you
it
give it a
is already
C?
hard to explain it without seeing it. So
Wait, did you
I
give it a
wouldn't
C or a D?
oh, I gave it a C. I'm
I think you
sorry,
gave it
because
a
a
C, and I
C
think
was
I gave
like
it a D minus.
yeah, you gave D minus because I gave it a C because in my brain I was like, this is really just average, and I don't think it helps to solve the problem, but it gives some good tips of like generally, and like I love that it said you want the barbell to be close to you, like those certain things. But I was like, this is kind of just an average answer. On top of it, I can't see it demonstrated. I'm gonna give it a C.
Okay.
So I'm ready for you to tear it apart, though.
Okay, let me just say that I could go on for a while, so I'm going to keep it kind of brief because
Okay.
there is, and like also because we don't have video, like when you sent me your deadlift form video, it's like I told you exactly what I needed you to do in what the course of like 1 minute,
Yeah.
and so it's like there are going to be specific things that I'm going to see depending on what your deadlift looks like that I want you to fix, and it's almost like a priority list of like what's the highest priority thing that will transfer to the most load advantage
Right.
um, in a powerlifting context. Let me say that.
Right.
Um, okay, so with a conventional deadlift, going shoulder width apart for your feet. So this was step one. It said approach the bar with a feet shoulder width apart. So the bar is in the middle of your feet. I actually like that. I like having it be pretty much in the middle of your foot when we're talking toe to heel, basically scraping your shin. We want to keep this bar very, very tight to our body. If you are a competitive powerlifter or you're interested in lifting a very heavy amount of weight with a conventional deadlift, I would consider wearing damn near knee high socks because otherwise your shin should bleed. That's how much it should be
Whew,
tucked into you. I have scars all over the front of my shins because and hair doesn't really grow there too easily
that's
anymore because I'm
your
pulling it
body
so
learned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Waste of time to grow any hair there. But
Yeah.
feet shoulder width apart I disagree with. I think they should be hip width, which is a little bit closer
Mm.
in, and the
Okay.
reason for that is because we want our hands to hang directly down. If they
True.
are any farther out, we're going to lose out on that capability of getting tension into the lats because the lats, they wrap around the rib cage. So if we can keep them kind of in line with the shoulder blades, we'll be able to get more tension into them
Yeah.
possibly. Grip strength is going to go down the wider we go with that. So first, yeah, hip width should be is what I would recommend for conventional. Next, bending down and grabbing grabbing the bar with either a double overhand or a mixed grip. That's totally fine. There's no issue there. And then it did say your hands should be shoulder width apart or slightly wider. So if your legs are shoulder width apart, your hands could not be shoulder width apart.
Right, yeah.
So
I didn't
whatever.
catch that, but you're right, like, when you say that, I'm like, "Oh, yeah." You know?
Now it says brace your core and lift your chest up, keeping your back flat and your shoulder blades pulled down and back. So I don't hate the Don't hate the shoulder blades pulled down and back. I think, especially if you're like engaging your lats, you are going to be depressing your shoulder blades and kind of like, I mean, you and I think are both kind of mimicking this movement right now.
Yeah, we're both doing our shoulders right
The way I
now.
like to coach people on this is put oranges underneath your armpits and make some orange juice. I,
Yeah,
I, I like that
I like
tip,
that.
Yeah. And so that kind of brings people, like it pulls them back and down very forcefully. Because if we're trying to make orange juice, we got to squeeze the shit out of those oranges.
Yeah.
But I don't like that it says keeping your back flat. So this is a very common tip. People feel like, oh, you need a perfectly neutral spine or you're at a high risk for injury. Your body will adapt to the stresses that you apply to it as long as you're careful about the load management. If we are brand new to doing something like a Jefferson curl, I think it's called a Jefferson curl, right? Where
Yeah,
it's,
you're talking about where you, like, you're bent over and you just completely
yeah,
bend all the way. Yes, Jefferson
yeah.
curl.
So if you're doing that, like, yeah, I mean, if you start at like 235 pounds and you've never done it before, whew, yeah, I mean, there might be a risk for injury, but that's the same thing with doing a barbell curl and you're
Right,
doing like 200 pounds when you could only do 25. Like,
right.
risk of for injury goes up. So wouldn't worry too much about your back being flat, bracing your core, lifting your chest up. Hard, sort of hard disagree. A very strong conventional deadlift should be a combination of a push with your legs and a pull with your upper body.
Yeah,
I like to tell people that before the bar even comes off the ground, this is what I told you. I want
yeah,
you to transfer the load and the energy from that bar because gravity is pulling this down, right? We need to pull that gravity, essentially, that force that's going into the ground, into our own body. And I want you to coil up like a spring or like a piston or a rocket ship that's generating a lot of thrust. And then we push off all at once. And so this
yeah,
pulling happens way before the pushing. What
right.
happens if we try to pull is we get a lot of our lower back, and the lockout will be very, very tough to do because we can't engage our glutes as well as we should be able to.
Yeah.
I love the deadlift.
I wanna actually go backtrack, like, one little point
Yep.
about the back, like, keeping the spine flat, 'cause I
Yep.
think I just wanna make sure we clarify that.
Sure.
You are for people keeping their spine mostly neutral because you're gonna get a better power output, but if it curves a little bit, that's okay too. Like, there's a
Absolutely.
line
There's
to
a
that, correct?
yes, absolutely. There, yeah, great, great addition.
Okay,
Yeah, if there's a little bit of spinal rounding, it's not an
not a big
issue.
deal.
It's
Okay.
just we might be able to get better power output. You always see people doing like whether it's conventional or Romanian, there's a mirror in front of them. They're looking up at the mirror.
Yeah,
Tuck your chin.
yeah,
I'm begging you to tuck your chin. It's not that tucking your chin will directly harm or benefit the lift. It's just that when we tuck our chin, our lumbar spine is probably going to stay a bit more neutral and we'll be able to get our glutes a little bit more. If you're
yeah.
familiar with Bob's Burgers, the Tina twerk where she like does her
Yeah,
lower back like in and out, that
right.
is what happens. Like the when Tina's doing
Yeah,
that is what happens when we look up in the mirror a lot of times. It's not a
yeah,
guarantee. It's just that's what I have experienced. So
yeah.
put
I
a
think you're
quarter on the ground, put a shoe on the ground in front of you, put whatever you need to do, a line of chalk and stare at it, bite your shirt, bite your necklace, do whatever you
yeah.
have to do to remind yourself to keep the chin tucked.
It's almost like your spine kinda follows what your head's doing. So if you're starting to
Oh yeah,
kick back and look up, the rest of your spine kinda follows.
agreed. The next point, which was like begin the lift by driving through the heels, yada yada yada. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The next one after this, it says as you lift the bar, exhale forcefully and then continue to engage your core and glutes. What the hell
I
are
knew
we
you wouldn't
talking
like
about?
that. I
Yeah,
knew you would hate that.
you and I like kind of eyed each other at that one. I was like, I don't know about that
Yeah,
one.
you
So the reason I
did.
don't like that is, you see these like lifters or something like, on every, but if we are doing a lift that demands a high degree of core stability, like a barbell back squat or like a barbell deadlift, um, no, we want to brace like we're getting punched in the stomach
Right.
and then sip in a little bit of air. That is my favorite cue is don't try to just take this giant breath because you're going to feel like this doesn't help me. What
Yeah.
you want to do is brace and then there shouldn't be much room. There shouldn't be much room. I mean, literally the intra-abdominal pressure from my head, like right then in that 1 second was insane.
Yeah, I bet.
Um, so don't exhale. Hold the breath until you are complete with the rep.
Yeah.
If you really are trying to show out or something, like I did on my third attempt at my first powerlifting meet, lift the bar off the ground, get it up to the top, hold it there, look at the crowd, scream a little bit, yell like I'm the man, look down, stare down at the photographer in front of you, and then let it slip out of your left hand, and it is no lift. Yeah, that's a true story. Yeah,
No.
that's a true story. Yes, yes.
No
Yeah, I'll send you the video sometime. It's so funny because I
I
just
need to
like
see
you
that.
see my fingers just like slowly uncurl as I'm like I
Ugh,
was so confident. I was 8 for 9 at that point. Well, 8 for 8 at that point,
yeah.
and this was my ninth lift of the day, the final one. I just ripped it off the ground. Was feeling so strong. I was like, "Let's go!"
Oh my
Staring at the
gosh.
photographer, looking around the room at everybody. Then I dropped it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ugh,
Now the rest of this, yeah, it just says like when you reach top of the lift, stand tall with your hips fully extended. Fine, and then lower the bar back down by reversing the movement, keeping your back flat and core engaged. I think the rest of this is good. So obviously I'm being very strict on it because I this is a lift that is like so important to me.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
man,
No, yeah,
that was
well,
a
we
very long-winded response. I'm sorry for people who don't
no.
care about the deadlift.
No, I think everything you said applies to other things, and I
Sure.
think, I'm sure the listener is interested to hear how you tear it apart because I'm sure someone heard everything you said and thought, "Oh, that's amazing," and then didn't think of the things that you gave feedback on, and so it gives people a different insight when they look at lifts in addition to the deadlift too.
Yeah,
So, I think everything you said was wonderful and super insightful. So,
I appreciate
I,
it.
uh, m Alex mentioned it a little bit. There was one time it was deload week, and I was like, "You know what? I had to go to the gym with Sage. We only had 1 car, so I went with him." I was like, "I'm just gonna play around with deadlifts." I haven't deadlifted in, like, 5, 6 years. Just it's not really my I don't like it's not the most exciting exercise for me, whatever. So I was like, "Let me just play around with it." So I was, like, loading up the bar, seeing how heavy I could get, and I got up to 185, and I couldn't pull it. And I was like, "I know I can do this weight, but I'm doing something wrong." Like, I know the basics of a deadlift. I can teach a deadlift for the most part. Like, I know my stuff, but I
Yeah.
know Alex is that much better. And so I sent a video and I texted him and he gave me like feedback immediately. I was like, perfect. And I applied that as like in
You
my
did
brain, I
such a good
applied it to a
job.
T.
You did such a good job.
Thank you. And I was like, and it like the second I went for the lift, I was like, okay, like he said to the biggest thing I remember is you were like, you need to pull on that bar till you're gonna pass out. Like you need to be
Yeah.
pulling and pushing so hard that you wanna pass out, and then you need to explode like your
Explode.
life depends on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." So I braced really hard, and I grabbed it, and I was pulling like was gonna pass out, transferring all that power, and then on 3, I was like, "You are gonna give it everything you got," and I did it. And I
I mean,
pulled
it shot
185.
up too. It
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 did,
like
it shot
it
up. I
yeah.
think one of the you after I sent you the video, you were like, "Yeah, there's a few things we could fix." I think I saw some of those things, but I was just
Yeah.
so excited that I got it, and I
I
even
was so
did
happy for you.
at the very top, I, like, looked at the camera, I was like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
No, and then after you, like, ran and grabbed the camera, you're like, "Let's go!"
Yeah, exactly. It was just so much fun, and it's just cool, and again, just to speaking to, a coach, like, this is the value of a coach and someone
Yeah.
directing you and, showing that coaches need coaches too. I can fully admit I'm not the expert on deadlift, and I wanna get better at that. Alex is gonna be the person to go to. So, it's just fun, like, applying those few little things, and then I got it, and honestly, when I was pulling it on the first video, it wasn't budging, and then when I
Right.
applied those things, I mean, like you said, it shot up pretty quickly and pretty easily. So it was just cool. It
That's
was a fun
cool.
little moment.
No, it was
So
fun to see. When you come here, I have been debating, like, do I put you through a deadlift ringer of, like
100%.
but I don't want you to, like, really push it, and then you're, like, absolutely messed up.
Well, but
You'll be
I'm
fine.
I'm
You'll be
sure
fine.
you could find a balance for me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you can find a balance where you're not gonna kill me, but it does challenge me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely need to do that.
I mean, by the time this episode is posted, you'll be pretty close to being here.
Yeah, I'll be able to be like
Be like 2
2
weeks
weeks
out or
away.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 weeks or something. So
If
yeah,
you're
that'll
listening to
be fun.
this and you wanna see any specific content about, like, maybe me coaching Bree through a deadlift, could be cool.
Ooh.
Maybe cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We should do that for sure.
Alright.
Cool.
Well, I think we'll probably wrap it up there, yeah?
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to the Chat GPT experience?
Yeah, I'm gonna say thank you, ChatGPT.
Well, I do want to say this. I think overall, if I was to give Chat GPT like a scale overall, I teeter between like
Let's do it. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's do it.
okay.
Let's do it.
I can't pick though.
As an
Okay.
overall
I'll
coach
do this. I know
replacing
what I'll
us,
do.
sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
C
C
plus.
plus.
Wow. For
Wow.
us to give the
Okay.
same overall grade is pretty good.
Yeah, there were some things I was so impressed with, and that's where the plus comes in, but there were some things that were average or below average or didn't clarify for people, and so I can just see people at the end of all of their questions.
Yeah.
They got a good average answer, and that's where the plus comes in, but
Right.
then some people, again, still be maybe lost in what they're trying to do on certain things.
I've seen, and this is going to be the hottest take of 2023, and I might get some angry messages about this, but I'm going to say it anyways because I'm committed.
Okay.
This did a better job coaching than some coaches that I've seen.
Yeah, I would agree with
There
that.
are a lot of no, I'm going to say it. There are a lot of bodybuilders who went through one singular prep and feel
Yeah.
like they are confident enough to coach people. You cannot become a coach based on what you've done to your own body. You
Yeah.
become a coach based on the amount of empathy you have and the amount of education you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
How well you can speak to people really matters when you're a coach. And if you're
Yeah.
just a bodybuilder that has pushed yourself to your limit, kudos to you. Bodybuilding is not easy, but it does not make you a coach.
Yeah. Doesn't doing one bodybuilding competition does not qualify you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Now, is that not to say that like your
Oh, the
experiences can help
experience.
people?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah,
Absolutely.
if you're a coach listening, you're like, "Oh, wait, what?" And, like, you're feeling bad about it, like, just know, like, your experiences are valid, and that's also a part that helps you with your clients, but, like,
Yep.
what's gonna make you a really wonderful and great coach and set you out from other people is exactly what Alex said.
Get the
So,
reps in. Just keep
yeah,
getting the reps. And I'm not saying like I just don't want anybody to think like I don't know. Yeah,
yeah.
whatever.
No,
We
I
want to
think we're
beat them
good.
to
I think
death.
we're good. Cool.
We'll leave it
Well,
there.
this was probably one of my favorite
This
episodes. I
was
don't
so
know if it
interesting.
was
Yes,
because of our
absolutely.
perspective or if, everyone else loved listening to it too, but this was fun. We'll have to do
This is a lot
another
of
Chat
fun.
GPT one,
Maybe
so
we'll do the paid like ChatGPT 4 and then see like well how different it is, you
how
know.
different it is. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Well, cool. Well, everyone have a wonderful day, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Bye everybody.